Okay, so these benign breast conditions, first we have discussed ANDI, then primary non-cyclic mastalgia. Whenever any other conditions, any musculoskeletal conditions or any other conditions which is indirectly related to the breast tissue causing the mastalgia and the cervical root pain, any neurogenic pain, then the breast lump, the cyst, because you know the breast tissue has the laxiferous ducts and all the laxiferous tissue which is causing lactation. So these there is so many glands out there. So in these glands can be sometimes these glands change into the cyst. So some various type of cyst presents in that present as a breast lump. The galactosele is nothing, just a gland who is secreting the the milk, and if any cause somehow the mouth of gland is closed, and so that the milk inside is collected along with the cellular debris which is the lining of the gland is collection, just like the thick creamy greenish secretions is collected, because the milk is not able to come out from that glands through the duct, because the duct is blocked. So that condition is called the galactosele. Galactosils means that breast milk is collected in a gland due to the obstructions. Next condition, the sclerosing adenosis. We know the adenosis means the tissue where the glandular tissue is there. There is the sclerosing. Sclerosing means there is the fibrosis kind of the changes occurs in the tissue. So sclerosis occurs in the adenous tissue, means the glandular tissue, that is called the adenosis. This lump is also present as a uh, cyclic mastalgia. This uh, this this sclerosing adenosis means that in this condition the lump is there in the breast, and that lump is that lump actually that is not very much painful. That lump is on these lump are tender lump are there, not very hard lumps. Soft lumps are there, and on examinations, when the clinicians or the examiners touch these lumps, then that causes the pain. Otherwise very minimal or no pain will be there. So that's why there is these lumps are also called trigger spots. Trigger spots happens in the sclerosing adenosis condition, that comes under the ANDI also, means that ND we already discussed the first conditions. That has the cyclic mastalgia. When it has the condition of sclerosing adenosis, then it may have the lumps also. The fat necrosis we already had discussed. The cyclic nodularity is there when we already discussed the cyclic mastalgia, means that pains occurs at the time of the menstrual cycle, and that as the cycle pass, then after few days it get resolved itself and again occurs at the next cycle. That's in the similar way. When that nodularity means the simple nodules that glands or that lactating glands are enlarged in size and present as lumps. So these lumps are nothing just like the glands, means these lumps are nothing just a glands which increases at the time of menstrual cycle, means which increases in the size at the time of the menstrual cycle, and later on that glands decrease in size. So that's why the nodularity means that nodules appear at the time of cycle and later on they disappear. So this is called the cyclic nodularity, just like the cyclic mastalgia. Next, the chronic abscess is chronic. If the chronic abscess is there in the breast and the collection is there, so that collection is also present as the lump. Because there is a cystic lesion. The breast has breast has a infection which is not drained out. Any region may be there, and it covers a thick capsule, covers on the thick capsule, and there is the semi-solid, or that semi-solid pus is there, and that get thickened by that, because taking the antibiotic, they causes the sterilization of that, so that pus is collected at this that site and looks present just like any lump. Next, the lipoma means that the fat tissue, that benign condition of that benign condition of the fat cells which are present at a certain place in very concentrated manner. So that present as the lipoma. So that the lipoma is also present as the breast lumps. And then some other benign condition, then benign neoplasm, that's a true neoplasm, but they are benign. Means the true benign neoplasm are the fibroadenomas, phylloids tumor, and duct papilloma. And then some other disorder of the nipples and perioral region which are benign, that also come in this benign breast diseases. So that we already have discussed disorder of the nipples. So the clinical features of that benign breast disease, there are basically three clinical features which are present in the benign breast diseases. First is the mastalgia. Almost 50% of the patient have the mastalgia. Next, the 40% has the lumps, and third, that the 10% is the disorder of the nipples and perioral region. So that the mastalgia is two types: cyclic mastalgia and non-cyclic mastalgia. Cyclic means which is the pain is related to the menstrual cycle, which increases at the time of menstrual cycle and then get dissolved itself, then again appear at the time of the menstruations. And the non-cyclic mastalgia, the condition where the pain is there, that pain is not usually the mastalgia is the character of the mastalgia is there is the heaviness in the breast, the pain and the heaviness kind of pain is there. But yeah, that non-cyclic mastalgia, when the pain is not heaviness, in spite of heaviness, the pain is more that burning sensation or dragging. So this is when the pain is not burning, means not heaviness, but the pain is a more burning sensation, then this is called the non-cyclic mastalgia. Means usually the non-cyclic pain is there. Pain is not heaviness type, it is of the uh, just burning and dragging type of the pain. The next that lump, we already had discussed so many types of the, there may be the cyst, maybe the galactocele, maybe the sclerosing adenosis, and maybe the benign condition, benign neoplasm, or maybe some other condition. So the problem is that these benign breast diseases, that uh, patient always has a fear to have a malignancy. So the main thing is that the main work of that surgeon here is that the thing is that doctor always, the first duty of the doctor is to rule out this, to rule out this malignancy. Means that you have to make sure that your patient has not fear of that malignancy. How you fear that? You have to do the diagnosis, exactly diagnosis that condition you may not able to do the exact diagnosis, but you must have to exclude the malignancy. That is the main aim of the treatment here, that you have to make sure that the person is not having the malignancy. He may have some other, you may have not a diagnosis, but you have to sure that it is not the malignancy. This is the important thing. So that the management of that benign breast condition, that depends on the what diagnosis that, because every diagnosis has a different treatment, and most of these benign conditions can be managed by the only assurance. Means that in Ayurveda, what we talk about, that what we call santuna. Okay, means that is enough. If you assure that person that it is not a malignancy, and it will just just uh, just the condition will reduce itself, no nothing active surgical or any medical treatment is required. So most of these conditions are managed by the assurance. In few conditions, you may require few medicines and the few surgical procedures, as we already had discussed in this few conditions, when we have advised to surgery in the benign conditions. So this is the first called ANDI, aberration of normal development and involution, ANDI. So the main thing is that this is means this is the just uh, deviation from the normal, means all the tissue grossly, if you see the tissue, it is absolutely normal, no visible grossly abnormality is seen, uh, because it's a normal condition, but it's little deviate from the normal, and then it become then complicated. That's why it's called ANDI. So the other name is also called as fibrocystic disease, because we already had discussed in that initial conditions. The breast has three type of the tissue: fat, uh, fat, fiber, and glands. Three type of tissue is present in the breast. So the fibrocystic disease there, means there is two kind of the major changes occurs in these conditions. First the fibrosis, and second the cystosis. Means there is development of the means fibrosis is there, more fibrous tissue is there, and means that all the some fat and some glandular tissue is converted into the fibrous tissue, so that fibrosis is there, and then some cysts may be developed, some the glandular tissue may be developed into dilates and present as a cyst, development of the cysts, cystosis. So that's why it's also called as the some name as the fibrosis, fibroadenosis, chronic mastitis, and mastopathy. So this ANDI is also a group of diseases having so many changes can present, that having the fibrous changes or the cystic changes, that is comes under the ND. So the etiology, there is etiological factors are there. No exact etiology there, but there are some factors which may be the cause of this development of this AND. First is the hyperestrogenism, means the hyper secretions of the estrogens, and or maybe that hyper secretion of the estrogen or the low secretion of the progesterone. Both are the means the condition is there, means either progesterone is less or the estrogen is more. So this is the these conditions may develop this type of that diseases. Excessive caffeine intake, the person the women's who are take excessive caffeine, that may lands into this cap and that conditions. Psychoneurosis means some kind of that means that neurogenic conditions of stress may cause this type of development of this hormonal disbalance, means hyperestrogen or hypoprogesterone, that may cause the ANDI, development of ANDI, and the inadequate intake of the fatty is essential fatty acids. This is essential. How this is the means no direct relation of the diagnosis have been found with this essential fatty acids, but it have been seen that the person having the ANDI, if allowed to intake good amount of and good dose of that essential fatty acids, then that person has so much relief. That's why it has been related with the etiology that inadequate intake of essential fatty acids may cause that development of ANDI. So now comes to the pathology. What kind of the pathological changes occurs in this ANDI? So we already has say discussed that grossly there is no changes are there. Okay, so there is no set of abnormality detected in this condition. Grossly looks white, yellow, and rubbery. Just these little changes in the tissue, more fibrous tissue is there, and this tissue, in spite of being pink or red, the tissue become more white or yellow, and the characters just like the rubber like conditions is there. That's why this is the this is conditions. This is grossly you can see only the no changes, but you can find this little change in the tissue which will become, which looks like that little whitish or yellowish and rubbery in characters. Then on the microscopic examination, it has been seen there is the few changes occurs. That changes are microscopically, the changes are that the fibrosis means more fibrous tissue in place of the fat tissue or the glandular tissue, cyst formations, hyperplasia, and papillomatosis. These four kind of the microscopic changes has been detected in the condition of the ANDI. So what affect means what is the effect of these changes occurs, as we discussed the fibrosis. When the fibrosis there means more fibrous tissue is there, so it usually there is fibrous in the breast tissue, but there is in a limited ratio. When the fat and that glandular tissue and the fat tissue, fat it is the basically the supporting tissue of the breast, but when the fat is more when the fibrous tissue is the supporting tissue, supporting to all the kind of uh, that glandular structure of the breast. But when the fibrosis is happen and the more fibrous tissue is there, then it distort the normal anatomy of the breast. Whatever the glandular system is there, it may be completely distorted by due to that hyperfibrosis, or maybe called the hyperfibrosis, because when the more fibrous tissue is there, so these causes the stretching inside that breast tissue. There is the complete distortion of that glandular systems. It may cause the blocking of these ducts, that may leading to formation of that cyst, because when a glandular tissue is there and it secretes something, and the gland is not able to uh, secrete outside, not able to transport outside, then what happens, that collection is present inside cyst, and later on that gland may take a shape of the may take of the character of the cyst. So that's why the fibrosis may be the cause of the formation of these cysts. And then hyperplasia is also there. Hyperplasia means there is the increase in the sizes of this uh, size and the number of this that fibrous tissue, that glandular cells. So, and the papillomatosis, you know, the papilloma, we know that that is the benign conditions when there is a development of the papillomatous growth inside the glands or inside the ducts. So that these are the conditions, the basically four pathologies has been detected in the condition of ANDI. First fibrosis, then cyst formation, that may be cystosis, and hyperplasia and the papillomatosis. So what happened due to this, what are the clinical feature of the ANDI? That is we already have discussed as the feature of the benign breast disease are there are three features are there: breast pain, lumps in the breast, and the changes in the nipples. Okay, so the breast pain is the two type: cyclic mastalgia and non-cyclic. So most of the ANDI has the cyclic mastalgia. Sometimes the non-cyclic mastalgia may be there, but most of the time the pain is having the cyclic relations with the menstrual cycle. When the menstrual cycle is there, then the pain increases, and when the cycle goes on the vent, and then the pain reduces. Then next thing is the lump in the breast. So that lumps may be maybe the cyst, maybe the dilated glands. So these conditions and lump usually that lump of the ANDIR is usually bilateral. Usually the lump is present in the upper outer quadrant. Usually the lump is mobile. Usually the lump is soft. Usually the lump is mobile, not fixed to the fascia or in the inside the tissue, and that a cyclic nodularity is also there. That lump may increases at the time of that menstrual cycle and then reduces in the uh, size. Other thing that usually that not present in this ANDI, that there is no retraction of the nipples. Usually the malignant conditions, if the malignant changes occurs in the any breast, then usually there is a change in the nipples also there. But ANDI, there is no retraction in the nipple. That lump may be the tender, and that sclerosing adenosis, we have already had discussed the condition. Sclerosing adenosis is the condition where the nodules are there in the breast, and that are the tender nodules, that also causes trigger spot. We already had discussed the trigger spot. Whenever means whenever examiner touch this spot, then pain happens. So sclerosing adenosis condition may be present in the ANDI. So now the management, how we should manage these conditions. First, you have to manage two things. First, the mastalgia, and then the lump. So management of the mastalgia, and that 80% of the cases usually require only assurance. Means no kind of the active medical treatment or active surgical treatment is required for this. Only the assurance that this is not a cancer is enough for the patients. If you assure the patient you have ruled out the malignancy, then that is enough for the patient. In because that psyche is involved in the patient's mind, that she might have that malignancy. If you rule out this condition, and you say you inform your patient that you don't have a malignancy, you have not malignancy, then the most of the conditions the patient will get treated itself. Nothing is required. Only just you can advise the patient to just support to the breast, means that wearing that in undergarments is of the proper size. that will help very much. Rest cases, some conditions, some medicines may be used. There's some anti-gonadotropins like donazoles, some prolactin lowering agents, bromocriptine, some anti-estrogen drugs like tamoxifen, and some essential fatty acids like linoleic acid, linoleic or linolenic acids. These are the essential fatty acids. So sometimes these medicines you have to prescribe your patients. And for the non-cyclic mastalgia, one must exclude the extra memory causes. You know that some extra memory causes also there. We already had discussed some musculoskeletal conditions or the cervical root pain. So if the pain is not related to the menstrual cycle, then you have to just rule out this, because if it is related to menstrual cycle, then it comes under the ANDI. But if it is not related to the menstrual cycle, it means that it's the non-cyclic mastalgia. In that condition, you have to just rule out some other extra memory causes which may be the cause of that. Maybe the cervical spondylitis, maybe some other muscles conditions, some other ortho conditions may are causing this pain, osteoporosis or something. So you just rule out these conditions, and in that condition you may have some diagnostic tools to assure that this is to rule out the malignancy. These in this there are three types of the changes, means investigations are very much helpful. Mammography, ultrasonography, and FNSC. These three tests are very much essential to rule out this malignancy. First the mammography, second the ultrasonography, and third is the FNSC. So with these tests you can rule out that this is not a malignancy, this is the benign conditions. And if anyhow you are not able to because there are few conditions which just that cyclic and that sclerosing adenosis, and some few other conditions are which are very difficult because the tissue has not very much changes, but there is the mass. So sometimes you may not rule out with this mammography and ultrasonography and even FNAC also. In that condition, the lumpectomy or the excision of lump is very much helpful. So just in this end, patient is not responding to this assurance or not responding to that condition. So in that condition, excisional biopsy may be required. Just excise the mass and send to the pathology. Then you get the two things. First, you just rule out that this is not a malignancy. Second, you just give the assurance that to patient that your disease has been removed, that we have removed that complete mass. So now there is no malignancy. So and now you are treated with this condition. So in that conditions, the surgery is advisable only when the patient is not responding to this assurance and the medical treatment, and all measurements of all measures you are taking to control the disease, patient is not responding. In that condition only you have to advise to that surgery, that lumpectomy, whatever lump is that, just excise it and send to the pathology. So here this is the ANDI. This is the important things, into important conditions. Next time we discuss that the benign other benign neoplasm in this in the next classes.